All right, it's March 6th. Out here on Lake Conway. I got a storm rolling in. Just started to rain a little bit. So I came to an area I can kind of tuck in out of the wind and things like that. Try yo-yo in this ditch. There we go. This water just made it a little too dirty. There she is. Alright. There's a chatterbait fish. Stood it in there on a old trail, old beaver ditch. So, see if we can get another one. There he is. That's a better fish. Come on, get out of that stump. Get out of that stump. There we go. That's a bass. That's a good one. Oh no, it's just swimming hard like it is. All right, that's a better one. Up there on that hump. Another one, not a big one, but probably 15-incher again. But this little spot I'm fishing, there's normally a little gap in the lily pads where I'm throwing this thing. So normally that's where a beaver, and makes this little trail and runs through, creates a little ditch. So it's a good place to find some pre-spawners. There's a fish. If I can catch up to the daggum thing. Net, all right. All right. As y'all can see, man, if you find them this time of year, you can find a lot of them in a hurry. So they're not very big. There he is. Oh, and he's hung up on something else. Look at this and that. I caught a fish that's hung up on a line or something. Little bitty guy. Ah, the fish got off. Whatever. All right, hope everybody enjoyed that little outing there on Conway. Didn't catch a lot of big fish, but was able to put up a quick limit of 15-inch fish or so. I think I had a 16 in there as well. I was kind of limited on the areas that I could visit due to the weather. We had storms rolling in, so I chose an area that was kind of protected from the wind. So on Lake Conway, I'll tell you, if you can find some creeks that narrow up a bit, you can kind of get out of the wind if that's what you're looking for, or if storms have a chance to be rolling in. So found most of my fish in a small ditch off of a creek channel. So it's kind of where a creek channel splits. There's actually like a beaver run through the area where I caught most of my fish. And so when there's actually pads in the water, you'll see them come all the way to like a little trail where that beaver swims through and has made a trail. I know it's there from being out on the lake so much. So even though those pads weren't there, I kind of knew where the water was just a little bit deeper. That's why the vegetation doesn't grow there, why the pads don't grow there. Plus, the beaver kind of goes in and out, and boats kind of go through there as well. So there wasn't a whole lot of difference in the depth there. So I think, out from the sides of that, we're probably a foot or so deep, and then right there in that ditch was probably only 2 foot deep. So the chatterbait that I used, is just a Z-Man chatterbait. It's got a gold blade. This isn't the exact one. It's actually got a different trailer on it. I'll show you the trailer I used here in a minute. But it's got some chartreuse and some blue in it with the gold blade. You can find these at H2 Outdoors. That's where I picked this one up. I feel like it does really well in dirty water. I'd actually combine that with a Yamamoto Seiko, so in a chartreuse and yellow. And you can get those at H2 Outdoors as well. So no special modifications on my end on chatterbaits. I'll just take this thing and just run it up there like so. And one thing I can tell you, I got my first bite. I was in an area where I kind of knew there should be a fish, just kind of how things set up, and I couldn't get a bite. And I, yo-yoed it just a little bit up and down and triggered that first bite doing that. So if you're not getting a bite, just straight retrieving, try the yo-yo method. Can be effective. I've seen folks use that around stumps a lot too and catch fish that maybe were just kind of hunker down on one of those stumps. So a couple important factors for me that I've learned throwing a chatterbait. I used to hate throwing a chatterbait. I used to lose a lot of fish, read a lot, did a lot of research. The consistent theme is having a rod that's made for chatterbaits. So I actually took some money, invested in a really good St. Croix rod. It's a heavy power rod, but it's moderate action. And so essentially what you end up with is, as your fish is coming from behind and grabbing that bait, as you start to reel, the rod tip is going to be soft, it's going to bend, but as it gets to the middle of that pole, it's really going to load up and kind of start to sway back and kind of do the hook set for you. So I use an 8-2 speed reel, because one thing you'll find out chatterbait fishing, a lot of times those fish are swimming right at you. So they're coming from behind the bait a lot of times, and they'll grab it and come running right at you. If you don't have a reel that you can catch up to those fish with, a lot of times you're not going to catch them, you're not going to get that hook in them. A lot of times I will just reel as fast as I can. Sometimes I don't even set the hook. Sometimes I give a little bit of jerk, as I kind of feel it catch up. But if you get the right rod, you really should just reel into the fish for the most part. So hoping to get back out on the lake soon. Appreciate y'all tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, and I'll catch you next time.